Want to welcome to the program the Legislative Affairs Director for the Virginia Shooting Sports Association. Dave Adams is with us. Dave, how are you, sir?
Hey, Cam, I'm doing great. Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely. My pleasure. The legislative session is underway in Virginia, and already we are seeing some movement on pro-gun bills, right?
That's correct. Last week we saw House Bill 1666, which has to do with restoration of rights, come out of the subcommittee in Courts of Justice. They were supposed to take that bill up today, but they canceled that meeting. But in Courts of Justice in the Senate this morning, we saw a bill that's a bill that we really think is important, Senate Bill 948, sponsored by Senator Richard Stewart, that would prevent the state police from sharing information on concealed handgun permit holders with states that don't have reciprocal agreements with Virginia. And we think that's important because we've heard stories about states like New Jersey and Maryland going on fishing expeditions when someone is stopped for a routine traffic violation and they find out through the police check that they've got a concealed carry permit and they want to go on fishing expeditions. So this bill would prevent that type of thing from happening. And then finally, this afternoon, after the Senate adjourned, General Laws and Technology reported out Senate Bill 848, which creates the Governor's 20 Marksmanship Award, which would recognize the 20 top competitors in each of the rifle and pistol competitions that are sanctioned by the Virginia Shooting Sports Association. We're kind of high on that bill because it actually mentions us by name.
That's awesome. And this, again, will provide some state recognition for that. And that got reported out of the Senate Committee on General Laws and Technology. So that now is going to the Senate floor?
That, as well as Senator Stewart's bill. Both are going to the floor. Will probably be on the final vote either Wednesday or Thursday. Okay.
You know, that bill you mentioned from Senator Stewart, Senate Bill 948, I remember one of these cases that you're talking about, Dave, in Maryland, where there was a gentleman who I think was from Florida. He was traveling through Maryland, was pulled over, and apparently because he had a concealed carry license. Now, he didn't have his firearm with him, but his entire car was searched from top to bottom. They're pulling stuff out. He said he felt like he was a criminal, and there was no cause for this.
Absolutely, and you know this. We hear stories like this. I think maybe not very frequently, but when it is, it's usually a very bad story. I mean, it's that type of thing where they're made to feel like a criminal. They take everything out of the car. You know, I've heard folks like Tom Gresham say, look, you know, if they don't have a search warrant, don't allow them to search a car. If they don't have probable cause, they can't search it. And so we shouldn't be just, you know, willy-nilly giving approval just because they're law enforcement, because in states like New Jersey and Maryland, they're not always very friendly to the right to keep and bear arms.
No, far from it, as a matter of fact. I mean, as we've seen with the case of Shaneen Allen, there's another case going on right now in New Jersey involving a gentleman named Stephen Josie Davis with a very similar story. So you're absolutely right about that. Do you think, is this one of those bills, Dave, that might be able to enjoy some bipartisan support there in the Senate?
Yeah, well, you know, it's interesting. One of the folks who voted to report the bill out is usually anti-gun. I don't know whether that's Senator Puller from Northern Virginia. I don't know if she, voted for it by accident, but we did have Democrat John Edwards, who's also on the committee. He voted to report the bill out, and he's usually pretty pro-gun with us. So we'll see what happens in the Senate. I will say that Senator Saslaw, who's the Senate Minority Leader, very anti-rights from Northern Virginia, actually said in committee, look, if this gets on the governor's desk, he's going to veto it. So I guess we'll see what happens if we get it that far.
All right. Dave, listen, I appreciate you coming on the program, sir. I know it's going to be a very busy session, and both sides, both those in support of the segment and those wanting to restrict it, are working very, very hard in Richmond. Is now a good time to contact your state senators about these bills since they're on their way to the floor?
Absolutely, on both 848 and 948. Absolutely. Send an email to your state senator. They can go to our website, myvssa.org. Click on legislative information. There's a link down at the bottom to find out who the legislator is. Click on that and just shoot out an email to them. Say, look, really, please support these bills. We think they're great for Virginians and for gun owners in general.
All right, David, listen, thank you, sir. I appreciate your time today and hope we can talk again soon.